As you start to wrap up your final project, the kayaking brochure, I want to go over a couple of things that you're asked to do in the assignment as a final check before you run pre-flight and package your file. I'm going to talk about pre-flight and packaging in the next video, the final video, but here I wanted to go over a couple of information pieces about linked files, how to edit them, and about deleting unused colors from your swatches panel. So right now I am in working mode, and remember that you can hit the W key on your keyboard to toggle back and forth between working mode and preview. And it's just really nice to be able to do that so you can quickly see how something will look when it's printed. So as I say though, I do want to check all of my images, and to do that you bring up your links panel. It's in the window drop down menu. Make sure links is checked, and here is my links panel here, and it's listing the 5 images that I have brought in to my document. I have 3 on page 1 and 2 on page 2. So to check them, I go ahead and click on them, and down here in the bottom part of the links panel it gives me information about them. The name of the file, the type of image it is, what page it's on, and then this is what you want to look for. The color space of all the images on this piece should be CMYK because that is the print color space. So this one's okay, and this one is not okay. This one is in RGB color mode. So I need to open this up in Photoshop and change the color space to become CMYK. So how do you do that? Well, it's very easy to do it in InDesign if your files are linked. And here the files are linked. They're in the links panel. There's one thing though that you want to check. In InDesign, you have the option, if you click on the flyout here, to embed a link. Let me click on it to show you. You don't want to do that here because when you embed a link, it's sort of like pasting the image into the document. You can certainly do that. It will print fine. It's not a problem, but you won't be able to edit it in another program, such as we're about to do, if it is embedded. So for this demo, I recommend that you don't embed your links. Okay, so how do you get to Photoshop with this without closing down InDesign and opening it up separately? Well, you select the image as I've done so here. I'm in my selection tool, and then you either right click on the image, or if you have a 1-button mouse you can hold down the Control key on a Mac, and I believe it's the Alt key on a PC, and you get this contextual menu here, and you go down to Edit With, and I know it's off of the video frame here, but you have a list of programs that you can edit this piece in, and I would use Photoshop for this. If you did a graphic in Illustrator and that was its native program, you certainly would choose Illustrator. And you'll notice I have a couple of different versions of these programs on here. So I'm going to use Photoshop Creative Cloud, click on it, and then the file opens up in Photoshop. So now I am in Photoshop with this image, and I can do whatever I want to it to edit it. I am going to check the image size by going to Image Size, and it's hard to see because it's under a menu here so I can't really demonstrate that, but I want to make sure that it is 300 pixels per inch. Okay, and this image I know is, so that's okay. But I do see that it's in an RGB color space, and I need to change that. To do that, you go to the image drop-down menu, you go to the first option on the menu, which is called Mode, and then you select CMYK color. It's probably just out of the video range, but it's very easy to select. When you do that, you do get this warning message and you just hit OK. Now you can see that this file is in CMYK, and that's great. It's very important to save it and don't change the name of the file. So we're going to go ahead and save this. And because it's a linked file in InDesign, when I go back to InDesign and I click on this, go to the other one, go ahead and click on this. Now I see that it is in CMYK. So InDesign has automatically updated this placed file because it was correctly linked in my links panel. So go ahead and check all of your images. If you want to open all of them up in Photoshop to make sure they are 300 ppi, go ahead and do that. You're also checking for color space, and all of these seem to be fine, so that's great. One thing that you also want to do, and this is in your assignment, is to eliminate all unused colors in your swatches panel. Now, these are not the colors that are in the photographs that you've brought in. These are the colors of things like a bar, the color of the text, colors that you have literally just used right here in InDesign. We're going to get rid of the ones that we're not using. So to do that, in the swatches panel, you go to the flyout menu and you go down to select all unused. And InDesign tells me that I'm not using this magenta, I'm not using yellow, red, or green, or this Pantone color. I can just delete those swatches, and these are the only two colors I'm using in this file, again aside from the photographs. So when you're done with all of this, you save your file, and then you will be ready to go on to your pre-flight and packaging steps to finish up your project. So good luck, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.